Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Except your name might be Titoman, and I might have gotten an email because you liked the stream. That's pretty cool. You're a pretty cool guy, dude. Mucho queso, man. Mucho appreciato. Me homie. I think I have a chat turned off. Hold on. What the fuck? Hey, I actually do have chat turned off. How did that happen? Something's gone wrong here. Well, anyway, as we figure out these Windows issues, these lovely issues, I have made an audible to the setup, thanks to with the help of my mother. I was able to set up some platforms for the standing experience. So we are currently standing. This is a standing stream. Check it out. Hell yeah, homie. All right, now I got the chat figured out. So yeah, I'm standing, dude. I get to do some fucking jogging while I do my streams. It's pretty epic. I can show them off a little bit. Actually, I can't really because the webcam is in a very precarious position. But this is the platform. It's on top of the table. That's pretty much the wire. We've really stretched the wires thin. So yeah, we're still figuring some stuff out. I have a kind of a somewhat jerry-rigged setup for my keyboard. I'm trying to find a spot where it will be somewhat stable. And the other issue too that I think is going to continue happening is like as I have my hands in somewhat of a position. Hold on, I'm trying to move stuff around. As I get my hands in a solid position for the most part, right? I think I'm going to continuously wiggle the table, and that is going to wiggle the camera. So hopefully that is something that we figure out. But we're ironing out some kinks. We're going to do some stuff like that live, of course. Now, I do actually have some content for you on this stream. I do actually have some things that I want to do. So one of the things that I was observing in the latest fraud craft, was that we have some issues with Terran balance. If you go bio, it actually feels quite punishing to deal with certain compositions. I do think that they might need some sort of like longer range style thing. And I was thinking that the captaincy, which is currently not yet implemented, should probably end up being sat over at tier 2. And I was thinking we could probably move the madcap over there. This is another thing that I'm interested in people's feedback on, but I feel like the barracks and the starport and the gateway all train too many units. So the gateway is pretty easy. You just move some of those over to the Grand Library, like the Atreus and the Amaranth can be moved over there pretty safely, I think, because then you have got 5 units for the gateway and 5 units for the Grand Library. It seems reasonable. There's going to be some adjustments to make the Grand Library a bit more approachable, which include making the structure less sizable and also have the structure be slightly less expensive for minerals, I think. I think I'll drop the mineral cost to 200 or 225 or something. Now, for the barrack side of things, the madcap is really the only unit that I feel should probably move to the captaincy. And then we're going to have to add additional units to the captaincy so that it's actually worthwhile to train or to build captaincies in the first place, because you probably don't want to build a structure just to train one unit, which is probably another reason why we haven't seen too many penumbras, despite the fact that in theory they're easier to access since there's only 3 tiers for now. For the starport, like logic would dictate, you probably want to take the Centaur and Pegasus and move them onto the nanite assembly, and then you just take the Salamander and move that over to maybe the physics lab add-on or something to that effect. I'm still not 100% sure what I want to do there. I think maybe we could have, for example, the Salamander could be dropped in from the starport itself with the physics lab attachment, and then we could have another like specialist frigate type craft that you can train with the physics lab add-on. but I'm not 100% sure. The other alternative that I have is actually to temporarily disable the physics lab until we decide we want it for some other reason. And what we can do is we can take the Gorgon and put that on the regular starport, so it's trainable from the word go as soon as you get a starport. It's a very expensive craft, mind you, and it's not super combat effective, so this might be the thing that we can do. We can sort of reduce its cost and stats, but make it a little bit more reasonable in terms of how we approach things. And then it can be balanced as a tier 1 addition. But then you can have the Salamander replace the Gorgon on the munitions bay add-on. So I'm also open to that. I think that might actually work out, but I'm not 100% sure. The Salamander itself would be a fragile but expensive unit. It's 250, 150. It's not something that's particularly cheap to get. This is actually probably the most expensive of any of the units that could, in theory, be on the munitions bay. If we look at the Wyvern, it's obviously 50 gas, 50 minerals more expensive. The Valkyrie is the same ore cost, which probably needs to go down, but it's also cheaper in gas. The Salamander is 3 supply as well, which you have to remember. And the Gorgon is 175, 100. So definitely the Salamander would be the most expensive unit, which makes sense given that it's quite a powerful unit when used in decent enough numbers. And also against specific compositions. Obviously, it can't attack air units. So that's sort of my thoughts initially. I'm curious as to what people think overall. I would like to probably write these ideas down somewhere so that I can sort of more comfortably explain things. So for the Valkyrie, we know we want to drop mineral cost to 200. For the Gorgon, we'll say, and these are just ideas, I'm not necessarily married to any of these, but we'll say move to starport, no add-on rec, rebalance cost / stats to fit the new tier. And then for Valkyrie, we've got that. I don't think we need anything to do with the Wyvern. I actually think the Wyvern is in quite a healthy state overall. Maybe we could tweak some of the abilities, but I don't think that there's I don't think there are things that are wrong with the way that it's currently implemented. It's more about you can probably see a way for the unit to be implemented in a better way. You can optimize the unit, you can make it better, but I'm not 100% sure about whether or not the Wyvern itself has any fundamental flaws to it that are, maybe there's things that hold it back, but there's nothing that makes me feel bad about using the Wyvern, right? Whereas using the Gorgon, it's oh, it's really expensive and I have to specialize my starports, right? So I think that makes some sense. Terrans felt punished for going bio. So it's more like the Terrans are supposed to have more interdependent branches, or basically you're supposed to be able to, without necessarily specializing your production structures in multiple branches, be able to survive. So when I was going bio air and my opponent was strictly going air, I was actually punished because I have nothing without getting a munitions bay or a physics lab that could handle heavy tier 2 air or tier 1 Protoss air. Right? Panoptises, I can't handle that at all with anything from bio or with anything from air. Map balance played a part in the cases that happened to me. But at the same time, I have no recourse other than teching up and spamming a bunch of turrets. So I could certainly get better at the game, but if I feel like I have to go mech or high tier air, I think there might be a problem there. So yeah, I think that was probably the main concern that I had going into it. Ghosts are not useful against them because of the fact that they don't have the just moving the other monitor over here. Ghosts are not as useful because of the fact that they don't have the point and click lockdown anymore. It is positional. So you don't even feel mech handles air as well? You mean in general, so you feel only air handles air for Terran? I think that Paladins and Goliaths, and also weapon swapped Madrigals are probably really effective against air, actually. And especially once you hit tier 3 and you can get Penumbras out, those are pretty versatile in terms of the opponents that they can target because of the high range and the AoE and all that. So I actually disagree on the mech part, but you do need to probably go salvo yards for anti-air. Goliaths are versatile, but they're mostly there as support craft. Maybe Goliaths themselves probably feel a little underwhelming. Even when they had the air, if they had the the Karen boosters by default, and they had the +2 range instead of the +1 base range. I think that, like, obviously by default, the Hellfire Missile Pack has 5 range, and then you upgrade it to get 7. That's in Brood War. So by default, giving them 6, I thought that that was enough. Does feel like it's a little bit rough. So I'm not sure. I'll note down that Goliaths feel a little messy right now. At the same time, they are 25 less minerals over the default Goliath and Brood War, and I think maybe the issue is actually related to the machine shop being 100 minerals, so it's quite expensive to tech into them. But that goes back to the idea of the add-ons themselves being an investment into where you want to go, and once you get that investment, you can churn out a lot more Goliaths than you could before. So, what's up, Terran Dominion? How you doing, dude? All right, so we'll say Salamander moved to munitions bay. Assess stats / cost / targets. So we have that. Consider machine shop cost. So I've said all this stuff about the Terran Air, obviously for the Madcap. Move to captaincy. Pretty straightforward stuff. Then I can probably drop the gas cost entirely, but I'm not sure. Tiedemann was talking earlier about. Oh, I should close that. That's a secret. Tiedemann was talking earlier about something related to the Alcagelus egg, and that's not old code. It's just that I haven't actually used it, so it's a dead unit basically. The egg will eventually be replaced, I'm pretty sure. Like if we search for 218, I don't think we'll find anything else. Yeah. So the Nathracor and Alcagelus eggs can be. There are 2 more unit IDs for us to cannibalize for other things. So you can keep using Alcagelus egg as an ID. I think Iquare was just thinking of, like, if you were asking if Alcagelus eggs were still used in the game, which obviously they aren't, but that's not right. So. But as to whether or not it's data disk, you can check that by opening up HYDRA, and once we go to units, we should be able to see. Yeah, 218 is data disk. So. I don't know if you have the unit def set up in your, like, this unit def is in utils in PyMS. So we go to utils, there's a unit def HYDRA that you can specify in PyAI itself. So if we go to PyAI, there's an X = Y button, and you just make sure that you add it over here. Then when that happens, you can copy your code from Notepad++ and translate it, and it should work fine. That was also in the custom AI guide, but it might have been glossed over since the process is like a one-time thing and you never really have to worry about too much. So say lower cost to 200. I'm currently rolling without a mouse pad here, so that'll be pretty epic. So I think Simulacrum are actually okay. I also think Dark Templar will probably be a little bit more useful if we lower their time cost a bit more. Their time cost is 25. I think if we drop that to like 22 or something, we should be okay. Once the Grand Library is more accessible, I think that will resolve a lot of that issue that we have in general. What's up, Alexander? How you doing? What's up, Veek? How's it going? Pretty well. Pretty epic. Setting up, I had my setup altered. So now we are standing. We have a standing platform here. In theory, I could lower it, but I'm actually kind of probably want to do that off air, so to speak. All right. I'm considering some balance tweaks. The other thing I was thinking about is that maybe the apostle could be. All right, well, I guess hear me out here with this idea, right? So we're talking about removing the physics lab and moving those units over to the nanite assembly, and then taking the salamander and putting it on munitions bay, and taking the gorgon and putting it on default starport. So we're consolidating the add-ons back down to 2 for the starport. I think the barracks might also benefit from such an action if we were to take, for example, the gallery, and I guess the gallery and the medbay could stay. I don't know. Like, the problem that I have is I think maybe the apostle having its gas cost reduced but put onto the captaincy might make more sense. The problem is then we have a medbay that unlocks the shaman and nothing else. And if we're trying to remove an add-on, I think it probably makes the most sense to actually take the covert ops, remove that, and then take the ghost and the savant and put them on the captaincy. My issue is, like, I actually think ghosts should probably stick to barracks, and captaincy training savant and apostle and madcap. Like, that's a good trio in theory. So that would leave us with marine medic, firebat cyprian, shaman, ghost. If I'm not mistaken, which is 6 units. So maybe that is actually too much. The rough thing is, like, I'm not 100% sure. Like, well, obviously the problem is that I think the best way to go about it would be to take the like, to mix and match what we currently have from the add-ons, give some to the captaincy and give the other to the barracks with an add-on. But then we have, like, medbay unlocking shaman and ghost, which doesn't make any sense. So we would probably have to give it a new name. And it would have to be like, I guess it could be like something completely different, but then the structure is designed to be a med bay, right? So, like visually. So that's something we have to consider. But I obviously don't want that to hinder my idea of like what should be done, right? Like I think that sort of experiment where we take the apostle and the savant and move it over to the captaincy, we can adjust their costs, and then we can have maybe the shaman should also move over to the captaincy. So maybe the captaincy just gets the med bay, because the shamans are actually really strong. I don't know how many people have used them, but like they are pretty potentially even overloaded. I would even say, I would suggest that they might be, because they have the healing for infantry, and they could toggle that to make it a healing for mechanical units. So they are quite versatile. So maybe the captaincy by default can field Apostle Savant, or Madcap Savant, and then they can get a medbay to unlock Shaman Apostle. So that would be the 4 units there, and that would leave the barracks with Marine Medic, Firebat, Cyprian, Ghost. So do you really want to use the covert ops just to get a Ghost? See, that's what I'm not 100% sure about. I guess if that were the case, if I decided to make it like that, then the covert ops could solely unlock the Ghost, but the Ghost could be cheaper, like 50 gas instead of 75. So that would kind of encourage you to train more than just a little bit. I'm not sure though. Yeah, you like their shaman status operational. It is pretty funny. So yeah, I'm thinking about all that stuff. Like, I can't really. Nothing has occurred to me that's like super epic that I definitely think would work. So I'm gonna keep that on the back burner, so to speak. But I think that there's something that we can do there. Why would the covert ops be an add-on to the engineering bay? Engineering bay doesn't even do anything besides unlock tier 2. Yeah, the lifting off into the corner thing is a known issue that at some point we do need to resolve. I guess I can write that down. But it's something that I've been thinking about pretty much every time that I've played as Terran. So we can just say like engineering bay / science facility. So I actually think liftoff in general needs to be applied to all structures. So that supply depot and bunker and all that other stuff. But their main function needs to be disabled until the liftoff is until they land. So an engineering bay that's lifted off doesn't provide tier 2 access. Science facility that's lifted off does not apply tier 3 access. So like I think static defenses probably shouldn't lift off now that I'm thinking about it. Well, maybe they could. I mean, missile turrets just wouldn't be able to fire. Bunkers, obviously, units that are loaded into them wouldn't be able to fire. Maybe you wouldn't even be able to lift off if the units were in there, so you'd have to unload them, which would mean like you'd have to pair the bunker liftoff with a transport in theory. Ion cannons being able to lift off is pretty funny, but obviously they can't like fire at that point. But I like that idea as well. So yeah, I think if you get like, so instead of calling this thing, we'll say like liftoff and add-ons, we'll say allow all structures to lift off, but disallow any tech unlocks functionality until landed. And then for add-ons, we could say allow all add-ons to be salvaged / detonated for more flexibility in base layout tweaks / tech pivots. I'm not really sure about that last one, because for normal structures, I don't think you should have a sell button, but I also don't think that you should have like a salvage button or whatever. I think what I was going to do here is like give another unit, might give a unit the... Oh no, I think the Madcap is already, or the Mason is already set up for that. Where is the Mason? Here it is. Orders the Mason to deconstruct the target mechanical unit or structure. Yeah, so that was actually what things were going to look like, so that's fine. I think I was going to allow add-ons to be picked up by transports. That's what I was thinking of. No, the gallery would unlock Firebats and Cyprians. Just not Madcaps anymore. I mean, the gallery unlocks 3 units, so it's already kind of overloaded, in my opinion. Which is probably still the case with the munitions bay, but whatever. Terrans building their own ramps is the tactical platform, so combatants can board the tactical platform while it is landed, or be dropped on it by transports. While on board, combatants gain +2 height advantage compared to enemies on the same height level as the platform. And then tactical platforms can land on unbuildable and unwalkable terrain. While landed, the entirety of the tactical platform can be traversed. So those are essentially like that's the bridge or ramp or whatever. If the tactical platform is big enough, or if you have enough tactical platforms dotting the map. So that's like a more simple way of describing the ability, I think. And if it's implemented that way, I think it makes sense. So yeah, I think in general, I'm not implementing any custom workers until we have code for AI to manage them. The AI can only process one worker at a time. Like one worker's unit ID, basically. It will only accept, if I'm Terran, then I'll use an SCV. If I'm Zerg, then I'll use a drone, you know? Yeah, Cyprians are essentially meant to be the backline anti-swarmers. They're obviously like not very durable, whereas Firebats are the front lines, right? So, Firebats are actually super useful because of their passive that deals full damage to structures, but I think they are a little bit more. They're obviously like very much still used more so against Zerg. Maybe with upgrade parity, you could use them against Protoss. Maybe. Like if it was a Templar Protoss. The other thing I was thinking of is that obviously Firebats would just be used. Like you just load a dropship full of them and then, you know, drop them. Which I think is pretty funny. Why would you want to do that? Just to counter Veek's Nathricors? Understandable. Yeah, I mean, obviously Cyprian's dealing normal? They deal normal damage, so they're actually pretty alright against Nathricors with the AoE. That's actually something else that I need to look at is going into Protoss. I need to grab the Atreus, and I actually should definitely give them an AoE. Like, there is no reliable anti-swarmer counter for Protoss if they go the Templar route. Like, they can get Storm, they can get Archons, Augurs, Pariahs. So I guess actually a lot of things handle AoE. But Archons and Pariahs are melee. Augurs are short-lived and expensive. Storm is dependent on energy. Like, there's a bunch of caveats there. They don't have anything that's more conventional. So, it is what it is. They don't have anything like the Corsair or the Gladius or... I think the Empyrean deals AoE? Yeah. And they obviously don't have anything like the Reaver or even the Architect, which doesn't deal AoE but has that splitting thing. The Idol obviously is hit scan AoE. Like, all of the other branches are somewhat better equipped for that. Wendigos versus Goliaths. I actually think that right now Wendigos might be a little fucking bad. But I haven't played around with them too much. I tried to use a couple of them against Dragoons, but I think there were more Dragoons than Wendigos, which in such a case, you would expect them to lose. Let's do this. This is weapons. Just gotta set his armor to the correct value. On the website. So I will say, so far with the standing thing, right? I don't mind it whatsoever. I think it's really good for energy, but I think we definitely need to figure out a way to make the actual hardware more usable. They keep like screwing up. And obviously I'm going to be doing more moving around. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think it would be a bit better if Wendigos were niche. If they weren't like a default unit, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's fine. Like, I guess vultures are kind of niche, but they offer you map control, right? Oh. This also needs to be fixed. Because it's 25%, not 50%, which makes it actually much less epic. Any mechanical target, yeah. Our debug building. But yeah, the Wendigo. We'll do it to a Terranary unit. They'll do it to when they have attacking a building. I think part of the reason is probably that they deal so little actual damage, but like maybe if they dealt like 12 damage or something. And obviously it's also reduced by armor, so you can imagine that at a normal game speed, it's a little bit easier to estimate their power. So you know what? Like, never mind. I had an idea for an experiment where I put this on my other monitor, but my not quite gonna work out. It doesn't look like. It's been cool to see Milestone get some work done on the AI debug plugin. Nice to have a couple more features. Another game, you say, and all people have to do is go to the Frauds Club Discord server. Yeah, I have some music queued up. Don't I? Yeah, that's when Nave actually made code in a reasonable language. Yeah, you had some sort of like concept art style thing going on, which was somewhat useful. But yeah, it's more work than it might initially seem, for sure. So I think we've sort of mucked about for a little bit talking about some balance stuff. I would like to get into some more work for this, but before I do that, I actually want to run an AI test. The other thing that I'm a little bit curious about is so Icor was not able to fix the crash yet that we experienced at the last game of Fraudcraft. But honestly, Fraudcraft was super stable compared to what I thought was going to happen, so I'm okay with that, to be honest. What's a good task on the task page I would like? Let's take a look. Yeah, so this is actually not that far off from what we currently have. We definitely need extenders. The TBLEX character extender is not really that important anymore. AI attack limit extender, data extender, in-game unit spread, and order limit extenders. All of these are pretty big. Definitely need these done. I probably need port data extended sometime soon so we can have the custom portraits, even if they're placeholders, added in. This is actually fixed, but we still need to do some more work on this by fixing some stuff in MTL. This never got actually fixed, but it's not a problem anymore. Sort of like the TBLEX extender is not really that big of a deal. This is not really that big of a deal either, but it's not fixed yet. This is like a big deal, right? So like if you want a more up-to-date version of this, I would probably recommend you just go to like this page right here, global changes on the main HYDRA page. And if you just look for things that are in italics, which is stuff that like we have not yet implemented, and you see something that you might want to attempt to do, or you're curious about trying, you can ask about them and I can tell you what's going on there. This is actually technically not true. I think in single player this does not work. But whatever. The problem is I don't think there's anything here, Titaman, that is easy to do without you doing a lot of code diving. And I might not even myself have the prior knowledge necessary to even know where to start to look for implementing some of this stuff. I think that's probably the biggest issue with a lot of the changes here is that we need to go code hunting and code diving and see what we can do. So honestly, if you just want to keep working on the AI stuff that you were working on to make it so that AI can use workers and gas structures and supply and all that other stuff for things that don't currently, for like races that they are not actually set to, that would be useful. And we would be able to do something with that if you wanted to go that route. If you wanted to like start to sort of give back on a code base level, which we would much appreciate. In fact, your rewrite, assuming it actually does function correctly and everything's good, it's obviously much more readable and much more sane than the previous implementation. So even on that basis, you're making life easier for us in the future. So yeah, if you want to do that, that would be fine. Otherwise, you can just continue playing. You can continue giving back with your feedback. That's also good. But if you're dead set on like an idea that we currently can't support, and you want to take the initiative enough to actually make that idea possible to implement, that would be pretty epic. And it would open up a lot of possibilities for other content, other people to make other content as well. So it's not going to go to waste. Your efforts are not going to be wasted. That's for sure. So I'll take a quick break, use the bathroom. That's the only reason why I have to take the break. When I come back, we'll get some work done on, I'm not sure what yet. So BRB. Yeah, dot wav, homie. What's up, dude? So, here we are, working on HYDRA, standing stream. What shall we accomplish today? That's the question. Not sure if I want to work on a... Well, I mean, I do want to work on a map, but I can't do any of that on here, so... What's up, Balethol? Not sure if I want to work on AI or what. Let's see if we built the right plugins here. Looks like it. Do want to destroy this utterly. Really don't like the add-on there. Also, I forgot that the wireframe is different. It's a Busto. Do I have a wireframe for this? I feel like I must. Yeah, there you go. Just do your work for you. Yeah, the medbay was received some additional textures. It has a work animation, but we don't get to see it. What's up, Monsieur Kian? Let's see if we can find the wireframe for what we're looking for here. I don't know how far back it actually is. This might actually be it. No, it's not, Norman. Some people are looking to organize a game. Alexander is looking to organize a game anyway. Some of these wireframes look sinful, like they're of sinful graphics. Like the whatever the wireframe is depicting is like a real fucked up kip bash or something. As far as I'm concerned, we're still not at the location that we need to be. How the fuck? It might be packaged with the structure. Or maybe he didn't do one for this? I feel like he must have, though. But the particle accelerator was never done for anything else. Yeah, I converted this graphic myself, I'm pretty sure. Oh, no, maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Yeah, that's Weapon Lab. That's not related. It's Terran 13 from Impact of Power. And it does not have the wireframe associated with it. But it is somewhat recent, so we must have gone past it. I don't remember if it's... I think it's Impact of Power is the game, so I should be on the lookout for that. It's the first attempt... Wow, I went way back. Hold on. It's the first attempt that DF has finished. Well, it's not even really finished per se, but something that he's working on. Yeah, I don't see this stuff here. It might just be buried because he did a bunch of other stuff later on. So maybe I'll just skip ahead a lot. Here's Impact of Power Doodad. We might be getting close. Here's some units, not structures. Here it is. Numero 200. Yeah, I am definitely going to need to get used to the new proportions of my workspace here. It's mostly the mouse, like, okay, maybe that can work. I don't know. I can't move my arm too far to the right to get to the mouse, or I'll start brushing up against the mic stand. Guess we'll move this over a little bit more too, if we can. Doesn't seem likely. There we go. Nope. I'm standing, dude. Standing stream. Jogging stream. I got some stuff that lets me stand up while I work. These are Christmas gifts, but they arrived a little late, so. But I'm not using a mouse pad anymore, so my mouse accuracy is kind of fucked. What's up, Mini Me? How you doing, dude? All right, did that work? All right, cool. Add that to the patch notes. We'll say particle accelerator wireframe has been added, courtesy of HYDRA. Yeah, I'm walking here. I'm walking here. I wonder what playing a game would be like with this setup. Not sure I should bother finding out. That's not so bad, I guess. Why not? Close the slots, homie. Although I don't know why you would want to fight only one player on an 8-player map. Seems a bit weird. Shall we ling rush this motherfucker? Protoss too. Spooky. He's waiting to expand. Oh, we got him, boys. We gotta make this a quick game or I die anyways. So. It is Protoss after all. Yeah, it sounds like you didn't close the slots. It always disappears when you start the game. That's normal. Oh. For some reason I thought that was not needed. Did you remove its start lock? Hi. Yeah, honestly, this is not as bad as I thought it would be. It's good, homie. I see he was going a fast X, but oh, I see what he's doing. I got some probes. Everything will be fine. Playing without sound, by the way. Yeah, there were patches every day for a while, but there's always something. Ah, this guy. What a goofball. And that guy, the AI only fell over in that case because he didn't have anything. Trust me, he would not have fallen over if he built some Zerglings. I mean, some Zealots in the early game. Fuck. What's up, MKagka? However you say your name. I'm playing my mod, dude. Got some new Protoss units. I'm actually just doing this as a quick test because I just set up a standardized standing desk. So trying to figure out what to do about that. And if I can actually play the game. What's up, homie? Yeah. He still hasn't managed to expand yet, so. Oh, shit. Dude, he's got a lot of simulacrums. This might be a problem. Oh, man. I have have nothing to deal with anti-air. Gotta get some Quasilisks. Guess I'll switch to HYDRA as well. There we go. I'm gonna drone up, and then my next round will be on to some more stuff. Yeah. I picked the wrong time to morph. See you, nerd. I didn't have the guts. I think even if I repel this, which is doubtful, pretty sure I'm still boned. Not my upgrade structures. Well, at least the AI's targeting is dumb as ever. Never mind. It's fucking me. I can restart if I... Yeah, thanks. It's okay. I wasn't really playing to win necessarily, but... I actually thought I had dealt enough damage in the early game, but they bounced back, dude. They one-based me to death. Pretty epic. What even is this? That was an unsavory clip I wish I did not watch or listen to. Just be thankful you guys couldn't hear that. If you add the AI BW scripts with the same name, do they automatically overwrite? Yeah, they do. If you look at how I do it, you'll notice that I really don't care what entry I click on. I just Control E. Well, I need to click on only one. And I Control A, Control C, Control A, Control V, and then I translate it, right? Which is Control W, I think. And the designation up top that says script name and script ID, that's what matters for whether or not it saves over the right one. So even though I hit Control E on Terran 7 right Zerg Town, it's going to overwrite Terran Expansion Custom Level. So that's pretty much an easy way that you can keep track of that stuff. The only downside to the standing desk is every time I want to change it up, it's kind of a process. Like, say I wanted to actually sit down now, I would have to lower the hydraulic thing on one stand and then do it on the other. Just get a taller chair. Epic idea, honestly. Let's see what happens if I do. I want to watch this on the webcam too, so. There we go. Epic. Hi guys, this is the stream angle now. Yeah, that's not gonna work, is it? Yeah, you can see Mike at that angle, that's for sure. Yeah, we definitely got to work out the kinks as to like how this whole thing is gonna work out. That's for sure. No, Mike, it is. Take one last look at Mike because I'll be standing the rest of the time. See you later, dude. Tell you what we do need is we need some better fucking tiles for desert. These are still so messy. They were made like a long time ago. Not sure if I want to do any repetitive work with this current setup though. Why does dark green color only appear on the desert map and ice map or snow map? So you're thinking of the fact that by default, Blizzard has the white color removed and replaced with green because it's hard to see on that tile set. And then for desert, brown is removed and replaced with green because that's hard to see on the tile set. So that's why they do that. In general, it's not particularly advisable to have that color scheme going on since it's really difficult to see stuff. We actually talked about this in the most recent Fraudcraft. So I was looking back at this desert map, right? And I was thinking, I actually feel like the layout for this ended up being pretty strong. Unfortunately, when I was watching this back, I never really noticed what might be at fault per se. Hold on, what do we need for debugs? I think we need start location deaths, right? So I'll make a trigger for players 1 and 2. We'll say always. Comment. Debug AI personality display. And we'll set death current player. So if we watch back this map in observer mode, should be able to get some useful information. Although it's still AI playing the map, right? But oh, you can set your color to whatever you want in certain cases, yeah. We got 2-Gate Panoptis and we got Dawn. These are not good builds for this map. But alright, we'll see what happens. And I should actually take note of what the... let me pause the game here. I should take note of what the personalities are here. So we have player 3, which is the 3-Rin up top. I know there's some bio. So this is... so the Raider 5 is Uprising Heavy Cyprian usage. Okay. And then... Syracuse 7 is 1-1, which is 3-hatch HYDRA. And this one is 3-3. I think that's air. 2-Gate Scout. Okay, well, obviously that's Panoptis now. But... So this is the same build, I think, as what we just ran into. Okay. Yeah. All right, so that'll give me some more information. If I see some like nutty builds or whatever that I need to resolve some issues for, I can pretty easily do that. The pylon and gas first is potentially bad, actually. But I guess I'm thinking, I'm operating under the assumption that we're going to be looking at something that's like... Well, I guess they do get a gateway. This guy does. See, this is where I'm thinking there's probably something fucked up here. This is supposed to be a 3-gate Panoptus, and they go for Robo? What's going on here? I actually don't even know. Which one of these is the 3-gate Panoptus? I guess I should be printing out the player ID somehow. I don't know if that's possible, though. The AI do have a basic failsafe to make them go for transports so that they can at least use them, but it's not super optimized for island maps. There aren't that many of them, though, so... Destroyed. Oh. Oh. He's thinking. Maybe that barracks will land later. Yeah, I saw some screenshots being posted, which is pretty epic. Should they go that way? No, that we don't need a hook for this. We just need the AI to land a structure if it's got it lifted, a periodic check. Or to be a bit more intelligent with how it handles stuff. I don't know. Something has to give, though. Yeah, what the fuck? This is not the right build at all. What happened here? Brutalized by a single vassal. Manifolds are pricey, dude. You're supposed to just throw them away like that. All right, we finally have the Stargate. What a weird tech path. Yeah, this could be a lot more optimal, I think. Like actual focus on air units, for example. Might assist. See a nerd? Dude, he's kiting. He's microing. He's epic. Noobs. They really fucked up their build order, dude. I have no idea what they did. Or why they did it. Alright, so those are two builds we should watch out for. You were Zoryusta left in this screenshot. Epic. Wow, they drove them back, and it only cost them their expansion. Meanwhile, the uprising begins. Except they're dead. Bye. Like, again, the AI don't know, oh, I have all of these units I should be defending myself with. Hey, you can't attack that barracks with a vassal, you piece of shit. What even happened over here? Air toss. Oh yeah, another thing I was going to look into doing was going into the expand blocks and actually lowering the overall weight by like pretty considerable amount, like a non-trivial amount. I feel like they probably wait a little too long as the game goes on to get a third. Maybe Zerg are a little bit better at that, but I don't know. I don't think it's necessary to force the players to go a certain strategy. It's probably fine to allow them to do a few different things. They can decide what's best for them, and the map should allow for multiple strategies to find success if executed properly. I think that's pretty much a consensus at this point. Besides, air is already very powerful. You don't need a map to make it even more powerful. So, we'll say... I think I can close that pretty comfortably at this point. One thing that's pretty cool about standing, as I'm getting used to it a little bit more during the runtime of this stream, is I just find myself stretching more often, which is something I never did when I was sitting. Like, I would always forget. Pretty epic, if you ask me. So we know some build orders here could use some tweaking. We'll take a look at Gate Panoptis. Okay. But I don't understand, like, where in this build does it call for... I don't see it calling for that at all. It's not... That seems more like a ranger build or a general build or something. Yeah, but why? If it only exists to force people to go air units or transports, then it's not really doing its job. You know, you've got to allow players to have multiple strategies. I think it's fine to have some areas of the map that are islands or only accessible by transports or air units or whatever. And yeah, it is still if that's what you mean. Like, yeah, it is still considered an island map, even if it's not island by water or something. Ooh, forgot to reset my shit to UMS. No, I don't think Milestone is. You can ask him about how he did it. They won't be like Warcraft 3, but I have. There are going to be some game modes that have some neutral units. They'll actually be active on the map and attack you, though. Yeah, you should check out the Acropolis documentation. It has a plan, an outline for this sort of thing. We don't have it active yet, and I'm not sure when we will be able to start on it. But basically, there's Vandal Grounds, trains a unit based on its type. Grounds can be upgraded by the controlling player, gaining increasingly powerful defensive capabilities. Trained units get tiered upgrades equivalent to the tier of the grounds. So, for example, if you had a Zergling Grounds and you upgraded it to tier 2, you would get tier 2 upgrades for the Zerglings. Without a controlling player, grounds spawn for a neutral hostile player and move to attack a nearby base after training a critical mass of 15 supply. So, essentially, once they get to 15 supplies worth of units, the grounds will start to organize an attack onto some nearby base. It'll be a certain game mode where the map is made for the game mode. What's up, Fatso Phase 2? Appreciate the FOLLOW. How you doing, dude? If you are interested in testing, you can do an exclamation point HYDRA. Actually, I don't even know if I have an exclamation point Discord, but there should be a link below me. Or it's also linked in the HYDRA page. But absolutely. We welcome feedback. We welcome all sorts of perspectives here. There's going to be some small tech shuffles for Terrans at some point, but we'll get there when we get there. What am I testing? Bunker and Firebat. Brutal. Okay, so that's a bug fix. Let's see if this still happens. Yeah, there's a one fire still on it. Yeah, so I think something's fucked up with that. Icor will have to fix that. Also noticing that my Streamlabs stuff here might be wrong. Recent events. Check that out. All right. Copy this URL. Should be fine there. Or should it? Put it right there. See what happens. Okay. So that's right. Now the problem that I'm imagining anyway is I need to sign in with multiple accounts. Oh, I guess I can just go to YouTube, right? should work out correctly. Alert box. Okay, it's actually fine. Now it's actually showing is what matters. Because it wasn't showing before. I just had the wrong one, I think. Because I had a different one over here on this scene, but I think it's the same one. That's why. Okay. So I have to make a new scene for that or whatever. Or new source. I don't know why it's showing up over here, but whatever. Oh, well, that explains things. Let's say create new Streamlabs. Use a different browser for this one. Sorry about this brief interruption. We will be back with your regularly scheduled progress in just a moment. All right, then I'll just move this over here. Right. Okay, and we're back. Easy, except we're not back because I really got to use the bathroom again. So I'll be right back. And we're back. What's poppin'? So what do we got here? Okay, I've already committed that. Okay. So we fixed the Firebat range bug, which is nice. We are in the process of taking a look at some of these issues. I almost feel like the printout gave me the wrong build or something because there are no, like, there's no robotics facilities, facility calls here for this 2-gate Panoptis thing, right? We did get one. Maybe I misread it. Maybe there's a general build that also has Panoptis in the name. But I don't think so. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. So the reason why I thought it might have been a general build is because it had the photon cannon in the early stages of the game, but maybe that's also due to the main thread calling the photon cannon. So let's run through that map again and see what we can find. I am very curious as to what we end up with. It's poppin', DF. How you doing? What's cooking? Good looking. All right. So here we have got 2-port Wraith and 2-gate DT. Okay. That means that for sure the one on the bottom down here was supposed to be running 2-gate Panoptis according to the debug info. The 2-port Wraith, 2-gate DT, that means we should be seeing those kinds of builds. Let's see what happens if we fast forward a little bit here. We have an early Rax, which is nothing too crazy, I suppose. And a fast Expo, which again, that feels a little odd. Here's an Armory, but no Starport yet, right? Engineering Bay, still no Starport. Yeah, it does feel like there's something fishy going on here for them to be running seemingly a completely different build. Yeah, they're going factory. These guys seem sort of related to what they should be doing, but nice damage spread, of course. Meanwhile, that Zealot could have helped out massively, but decided not to. Had to run down and die to these guys, I guess. Yeah, so clearly that's not what's happening here. I must have set something up incorrectly, maybe? I just didn't set anything. For at least for player 1, right? Which is what you would expect. Like, if it's random, it should randomize. But maybe it doesn't randomize correctly. So maybe it randomizes the deaths, but in a way that is completely unrelated. So if it's at least 1 disruption web, then it randomizes. If it's 0 disruption webs, it randomizes. And then it jumps to this, right? Okay. Oh yeah, I never answered that question. Basilica ramp soon would be epic for the Nemesis map I'm working on, which has a due date. I'll still work on it afterwards, but I suppose I can use Jungle Temple or something as a placeholder. It'll look a little funky, but Should be possible. I kind of want to give this this lowering thing another try. It was not particularly successful the first time, right? But try the cliff ramp as well. Would be nice, but I'm making the map in Ash World, so. I gotta move my plant. 1 sec. Right? That would be pretty. I mean, I would be embarrassed. Yeah, I would be embarrassed to own a Zeratul plant, but you're right. That would be pretty funny. All right. So this isn't too bad, but it's still a downgrade in terms of flexibility for me. Like, yeah, I guess it's whatever. The big thing is like having no space for the mic. Mike, God damn it. No, still gonna take some getting used to. Yeah, this is not gonna work. So what I might actually have to do is attach the swing arm to my other table here, and then use the space created by that. That might work. I don't know. That feels kind of fucked up too, though. Maybe it just needs to be like in the back or something. And now it's just in the way. I think were it not for that, I would be okay. Thankfully, my monitors are super adjustable. I don't know how these people have done it, but everybody's still alive while I was alt-tabbed. Yeah, I'm thinking that maybe the randomization just doesn't happen correctly. Which is pretty weird. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Remember when I said everybody's still alive, by the way? Not quite. "14 kill Panoptus, also known as Milestone's Chosen." Oh, some Hydras will help. I wonder why it lowers in such a way where it's actually off kilter. What the fuck? Oh, I see what's happening. It's the swing arm. Hold on. Yeah, whatever. I'll fix that later. That explains things, though. A Zerg attack succeeding? Yeah, dude. No, the Zerg attacks can work out pretty well, but obviously they have to contend with... What the fuck? They have to contend with some early action. Did I just click on like an unlucky timing? Because I was like 14 minutes in. These fuckers still only have like 0-1 upgrades. And then I guess I clicked on again and they had 2-1 suddenly. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I think the Zerg player actually just killed the Protoss player. That's something I never thought I would say. In fact, if I had to pick a favorite for who is going to win this match, it would probably be the Zerg player. The Protoss player is getting assaulted left, right, and center. This is a pretty big attack force coming out from over here. Upgrade advantage for the Zerg. Yeah, the 3-hatch Hydra build in particular, if it gets to the 3 hatches, I mean, in this case, it has 5 bases. So you would expect it to win. Just based on... Oh, no, it has 4 bases. Okay. I assumed it took this, but apparently not. Don't worry, you don't need to finish that. Don't worry, you don't need to attack the Corsairs. It's fine. They are getting a lot of larval colonies. Their base layout is atrocious, though. See you, nerd. Nice D-web bug. So yeah. Would you believe it? A Zerg AI is actually going to win. Nice fucking SCV stacking, by the way. I haven't seen this happen in a while, but the Zerg have managed to stack structures on top of themselves, which is pretty impressive. I thought this bug was for sure done for, but apparently not. Dude, this AI is non-stop training units, though. It's pretty spooky. Look, they even have this base set up over here, but no fucking drones yet. That's kind of funny. Look at all the larval colonies. Holy fuck. Dude, Zerg are owning. Oh shit, and this Protoss managed to live on over here, and they're rebuilding their main somehow. Kind of impressive. Not gonna lie. They need to get to Othstal Lava Form a little sooner. That tier 3 tech. Hey, you can't disruption web me. Glad it just de-webs the zealots. Dude, this is dumb. No, don't do that. There we go. Oh, D-Web is so bugged right now. Yeah, who could have predicted that? Brutal. Meanwhile, more. We need more. I do like that medics are blinding them, but dude, nice army. I like the emphasis on Vorvelings too. Like no Zerglings, just Vorvelings. We just need front line for our back line. It's kind of thematic, I guess. I don't know, man. This is pretty epic, if I don't say so myself. Found some regular Zerglings. Classic. I don't know what they're doing. Like, surely. They're just like targeting a single depot or something somewhere in the middle of the AI's base. No, not yet. Oh shit, she's running in place. What would you do in an alien invasion? Take a jog? Still no Oths to lava form. What are you boys doing? You know they're just like dumping every bit of money they have ever. Always. Oh, there's a crash. That's the crash we expect, though. 433D7. Interesting. Standing stream. Yeah, there you go. It was a standing stream, guys. It was. It's actually quite hard, I feel like, to get into the stream, though. Or get, like, focused on where, even right now, with the new setup being what it is. Here, one sec, guys. Guys, I have to do something. One sec. Hold on. Well, boys, this seems rather impossible, unfortunately. So we'll just have to muscle on through the way it is right now, which is pretty bad, actually. How are these games going on? The ones that are they still going on? Oh, okay. So I guess what you're reporting right now is that the brushes are out of date, which they are. I think this one's fine, right? But this one is not. Trying to make the second monitor easier for me to look at this angle. I'm not used to it being spaced precisely where it is. So. And looking at it for long periods of time like this will probably be bad. So unfortunately, this AI check or whatever was not particularly epic, TBH. One of the things we did notice is that the authstol Avaform requests seem to be completely like superseded, despite being pretty high up there. Actually, let's leave that, but we'll say Alazal Arbor 85, Alazal Arbor 99. Oh, there actually are now. Epic. Welcome aboard. So does that mean that you've got like a merge request or something, or what do you got? Did you just get the stuff set up? I want to do some more AI work, man, but I don't know what specifically to try to target. Guess I can go check about that. You tested this code and you didn't find any like crashes or anything, right? I guess I can just build it now and see what happens. Problem is, obviously, some of the crashes might not be related to what you've done, so. Still a momentous occasion, of course. That is good to hear. No, I'm pretty sure that's the debug build. I might have to wait for this to start building or something. I don't know what's going on with it. Sometimes shit like that just happens for no reason, basically. But this time it might be unrelated. I've got to repair my auto test map thing. Yeah, it's fine. Oh, okay. No, it's just sometimes you just get a crash from event handlers when you have GPTP built for debug, and I'm not really sure why it happens. Like that was happening when I shipped a live version of the debug, like to the live version, people were playing in multiplayer and they got a crash clicking on drones and stuff, so kind of dumb. Might as well actually update these. Why do they have like a thumbs up, thumbs down mechanic or feature or whatever? It's so stupid. Doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, apparently. Thank you, Sir Tito Man. Mucho queso, mi amigo. Okay. Issues have been cleaned up, so that's good. Obviously, there's a ton that are not actually listed there. I think we can pretty comfortably close this now. I'm going to run some tests. Oh. Instant crash. Oh, this got re-enabled, that's why. Oh wait, I actually have to fix that, obviously. Big dum-dum. So 11:30 for him when it's 1 my time. What a fucking conversion. But it's 4:40 now, so 5. Oh man. 4. Let's close this out. Oh, that's not what I wanted to run, but that's fine too. So I think this is actually fine for a patch, but I'll sit on this and make a couple more AI adjustments before I send it over. Not the longest of streams, and obviously not the most focused since we were dealing with this new standing thing, but it was an interesting experiment, and I can definitely see the value in it, particularly if I'm doing content. If I'm streaming like a game or something, I definitely see the value in it. It makes me be a lot higher energy, I think. So I'm actually quite happy with it. So anyway, I'm going to go have some food and make some more content and tweak the setup to be a little bit better for me. I think that's pretty much it, though. Appreciate you guys hanging out today and working on some stuff with me. Catch you soon.